Good morning. We're going to be doing what we call 7A0. So the reason why this is called zero is this is something that the MRWC authors thought you already knew walking into this section. And so we wanted to make sure that you really did understand what the window frame means and what interval notation means. So in this section, we're going to be talking about domain and range. So that consists of two sets and a rule that maps one set into the other set. So that's like when we were talking about one to many and many to one and things like that. So the sets are called the domain and the range. So the domain is your starting values and your range is going to be your finishing values. And if you feel like I'm going too fast at any point, you can always pause the video and either write down what you want to write down, or you can print out the notes and just fill in the blanks. Totally up to you. So typically in algebra, X is part of the domain and Y is part of the range because we map our X values onto our Y values. But as we saw in activities in section 6, it doesn't mean X has to be in the domain. Y could be the domain and X could be the range, meaning that Y could be our starting values. So that's why we call them starting values and then what the values are mapped under. So a function is said to have a restricted domain if there are values in the interval from negative infinity to positive infinity for which the function is not defined. So things that we need to know when we're representing the graph of a function, and there are things that teachers have gotten into the habit of, or maybe they were taught incorrectly. I was definitely taught incorrectly. So anytime you see an arrow, what that arrow means is it's the direction of increasing value of the domain. So it's not indicated on a line or a curve that it goes indefinitely. It's just talking about where the domain is increasing. When we read a graph by tracing along the path of the graph, we always go in the direction indicated by the domain arrow. So typically in algebra, the arrow is going to the right for the domain, so we always read from left to right. If a curve touches what we call the window frame created by the end of the axes, the assumption is that it's going to continue indefinitely in that same manner beyond the window frame. And so you're not going to see arrows on the end of the graphs. You're just going to see it hit the window frame, and then we know that it goes on forever in that same way. So taking a look at this graph right here, I included the window frame so that you could see what we were talking about. So notice it touches the tip of the x-axis here, and it touches the tip of the y-axis here. Something else to note, there is no arrow on the left-hand side of the x-axis because we are increasing to the right for x. And again, there's no arrow on the bottom of the y-axis because we are increasing as the y-axis goes up. All right, so take a moment to think about this graph. Where is it touching the window frame and where is it not touching? And how does that tell me about the domain and the range? So hopefully you paused the video for a moment and had that discussion with yourself. And so if we notice in this graph, it touches the window frame on the left-hand side of the graph. But on the right-hand side, even though the top of the curve touched the window frame, it came back down. So this little tail right here never touches the window frame. So that means it's going to stop at this particular point. But over here, it's going to continue on with the same pattern that it was doing prior to. So when we talk about the domain in words, so notice in the directions it said using words, the domain starts from negative infinity on the left and it stops at a fixed point on the right. Whereas the range, if you notice, we start at this minimum y value, and then this tells me that the y values are going to continue on and on forever. So it's going to start from a minimum point and go on to positive infinity. So again, these directions did say in words. So interval notation is the way we're going to express the domain and range as well. So we want to talk about open-bounded versus closed intervals. And so an open-bounded interval with parentheses a comma b on the real number line means that it's all the real numbers that lie between the two given numbers. So a and b are not part of the solution set, just the numbers in between a and b. If the interval is closed, then that means that a and b are included. So this is talking about starting at A, finishing at B, and including all the real numbers between A and B. You could also have combinations where you start with A, but A is not included, and go through B where B is included. Or you could start where A is included and go through B, but B itself is not included. So those are the different ways that we can write interval notation. So an unbounded interval contains all real numbers from negative infinity to positive infinity. There's open bounded where you do have open endpoints. There's closed where you have closed endpoints. And then unbounded means that it's all real numbers. So something to keep in mind, you're never going to have a closed bracket on infinity because infinity itself is not a number, it's an idea. So you can't have a closed bracket on an idea. So anytime you see infinity or negative infinity, that should always be an open parenthesis. So if we take a look at this graph, if you notice, we're starting at -2 where -2 is included, and then we're continuing through until +1, but +1 itself is not included. So go ahead and take a moment and see if you can write that in interval notation, pausing the video. So hopefully you saw that it started at a closed point of -2, finished with an open point at +1. So it's all the points between -2 and 1 where -2 is included, but 1 is not included. So the left has a closed bracket and the right has an open parenthesis. So pause for a moment and see what you can do with the next example. So if you notice, we start here at -1, couldn't see the negative on the 2. So we start here at -1 with a closed circle, and then there is no endpoint on the right-hand side. It's going to infinity. And so we're going to say closed bracket at -1 because that was a closed circle, and then going to infinity, which again always has an open parentheses right here. So take a moment to give this one a try, pausing the video. So if we look, we're starting with all the points from negative infinity until we hit -2 with an open circle. And then at +1, we have a closed circle and we go to positive infinity. And so what we're going to do is have two different intervals that we combine together. So we go from negative infinity to 2, where 2 is not included in the solution set, so it's an open parenthesis. And then this term says union or joined with, meaning putting them together. And then we have a closed bracket at 1 because 1 is included. And then that goes all the way to positive infinity, which again has an open bracket. So I'm going to go ahead and put up the PDF for the homework today. You can either print the PDF and work it out on the worksheet and then send that to me, or you can do it on a separate piece of binder paper and then you can send that to me.